rushing. Arena rushing, we're doing a chill rush, but we have a announcement. And from that announcement, I think we're just going to kind of story time rush. This is the first rush since the new update, so this is also not an inter-server rush or anything, so I'm gonna go for more story time rush. And my story time rushes always go left, right, and center with all kinds of random stories and all kinds of random stuff. But the announcement. The announcement for what people that have been checking the RTA ranking for quite a while probably have noticed already. And that is that I won't be an SWC player. And that is something that some people did not expect. Maybe some people did expect. Main reason is... Well, actually, there's a bunch of reasons for it. So... what would be the main reason? Well, actually, there's just a bunch of reasons. Actually, I did mention it last year already during SWC, the moment I lost at SWC last year in Berlin. I mentioned it at that point. I was like, yeah, every year you put in the effort, you put in the time, you put in a lot of hours for not just grinding your monsters, but also checking all of the other people, what are they doing, how are they preparing, all of that kind of stuff. Behind the scenes, a SWC player does a lot more than just play 2-3 matches in SWC. There's actually a lot of time, like there's often the discussion of saying like, okay, is Summoners War an esports because it's like an unfair battleground of some people have LD, some people don't, there's RNG, blah blah, all the kind of good stuff. Yeah, you can say to that whether it is or isn't depending on your own opinion. That's definitely a true factor. However, one part that I can say which makes it more of an esports for me rather than what other people might give it credit for is how much effort it takes to get there. And that is for the SWC players, it pretty much starts like 2-3 months ago already. You start prepping in like May, March maybe even already for, okay, I got to be high ranking in my seasons, what are the other people playing, what are the current metas, you're playing all of your RTA matches, you're checking with other people. At that moment SWC already starts for those people. And that is pretty much goes all the way, if you play all the way till the end, the finals are in November mostly. So that is pretty much a very long time where you're busy with SWC related stuff of checking just a whole bunch, playing at the highest level, like sure you don't have to play both seasons, but you're still actively busy with it. And that's just a lot of time, like the amount of time that people take as an SWC player for participating there is a lot. And I participated first time in 2018. As you can see here on the background, you see a bunch of the shirts over here. You actually see just 2 shirts. There's like another layer of shirts behind that, and then there's like 2 more shirts to the side. So I got my fair share of shirts as trophies. Like I didn't win the title, I just won the shirts. They have my name on it, so I guess I won the shirt. So that is that part. I survived all of the prelims. I didn't lose a single prelim. Actually, like fully lose a single prelim. Would I have lost this year? Maybe. Was I playing worse this year than other years? Yes, absolutely. Actually, the first season for qualification was pretty much my worst RTA season since 2019, which is pretty terrible because I started spending more, I started investing more time, more effort, more everything. And I got worse and worse results. So it was also just by far my season, it just didn't work out for me, like a certain playstyle that I had. Don't want to go too much in details on that, but it just totally did not work. They nerfed too many of my units in certain ways. I had a damage Oliver, and Oliver was my main carry. That didn't work out if they nerf Oliver's damage rather than his annoying skill. However, that is what it is. Didn't work out for me at all. Season afterwards, actually, I changed a bunch of things. I went back to the damage Oliver rather than a resist Oliver, because the resist Oliver, which I was kind of forced into, didn't work for me, but the damage Oliver still kind of works for me. The other season actually did pretty well, but during that time of the season, I also had my vacation, so I felt like, okay, I could try to participate and play maybe, but there was something else going on. And that is that I was applying for SWC as a caster. And that is actually that I did mention already last year. The moment I lost, like on the same day, I mentioned already I wouldn't be surprised if I'm going to be here next year as a caster. And that is actually for some of the reasons that I just mentioned. It's a lot of time and effort and it's a lot of stress as well. You don't want to know like how much stress it is to play SWC, because there's a lot of things you do not have in hand, which is very frustrating, but also adds a lot of stress to it. And that Kinky just died from 2 counters pretty bad. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you don't have in your own hand of saying like, okay, yeah, there's certain things like, sure, my draft I can kind of involve, but I always I really like to prepare. That was my thing. I like to prepare, and if I have an enemy which I can really prepare against, I beat them pretty badly. An example would be my prelims last year. My prelims last year were the most clean matches of SWC that I ever played. I played 2 people in SWC prelims, and I won 5 matches in a row, best of 3, so 2 matches in a row, 3 in a row, and I lost 0 units. 0. Then I go on to like the SWC, the cup thing itself. I play against Ismo. Ismo is a lot harder to prepare against, and he played certain things I didn't expect. I was over prepared. I didn't expect that I got fucked. RNG was slightly not in my favor, but I definitely got fucked in the draft as well. So those things, I have that issue of over preparing. I like to put in the hours, I like to put in the effort, but if you put in too much effort, it doesn't work for it as well. So for that, I was like, okay, I'm going for a change. If I put in the hours and the effort as a caster, I only get better. It's not, I cannot over prepare as a caster or something. Plus, I do like casting. I do like talking. I am very hyped about the game still. I think I know quite some about the game, especially on RTA level. I was always, like, no offense to all of the casts that we had before, but there were always certain plays that were super smart that would really highlight a certain player, like not me specifically, I made stupid plays, but that made like the specific player look like, okay, these players know what they're doing. They're actually making a super smart call, pick, units. They prepared in a certain way, like the preparation. I really would like to see casters. That's also the thing I mentioned most of the times about casters. Like, I would like to see them say certain things like, hey, that they picked up like, okay, you picked this and this unit, or you ruined up this and this unit against that and that, or you were expecting this, that and that. And you can also talk about the process of like the thinking process, because sure, there's a part of it is played on the in the arena, but a whole bunch of RTA actually is played in the pick and ban and before the pick and ban. So that part is something that I definitely would like to talk more about as caster, and also just the whole mindset and everything like that. And in the end, like, it's very easy to cast it like, oh, they use it as 3, oh, it procced. Yeah, that everyone can kind of do, I guess. But yeah, for that reason I applied as caster, and I can also say officially I am the English caster for the European Cup, both prelims and the cup itself. So yeah, you're gonna hear my voice and my face a lot more, so I'm gonna be casting. Then also, yeah, the big question is, who am I going to cast with? Well, if you guys had a sharp eyes, I casted one tournament before. We're gonna hear your face. Yeah, exactly, you're gonna hear my face. But if you had sharp eyes, you could have known it already, because I casted one tournament before with the exact same person that I'm going to be casting with for the European Cup. Let's see in chat if anyone knows who that would be. I'm not sure if the tournament was watched that much. I'm also not sure if most people are like, you casted the tournament? What tournament? Actually, fun fact, my YouTube or my Twitch channel, the earliest thing that I did was casting for Guild Wars 2. I love Chris. No, it was not with Chris. Marvin? No, not Marvin. Sean B? No. Go tournament? Yes. Go tournament. Go tournament, exactly. I casted the Go tournament. That was kind of my tryout tournament for casting and that kind of stuff. And I casted that together with Sam, which is SWC employer. He's mainly... Yeah, where would you know him from? He only made like 1 or 2 videos so far on the YouTube channel. If you went to the events, he's always at the events. So you've definitely seen him there. And I think he made the Guardians Club video. Actually, a video that I really enjoyed. That one was pretty funny. So yeah, I'm doing that together with Sam, and we're going to be there is a tournament on the Thursday as well, which is the 2v2 tournament. That's also the thing where you have the banner from in-game. If you're playing 2v2s and I think it's fighter level, that would be that's also casted by me and Sam. That's also casted, I think, in most other languages by the other like official languages casted as well. So that's definitely a thing for what's going on for me right now. So no more SWC player. I am not gonna get any more of these shirts. I am somewhat sad about it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was not an easy decision for me. Like, some people are like, washed up, he doesn't want to play anymore. But for me, it was literally a very hard decision if I don't want to play, because in the end, I would say, like, I have the quality to be... Okay, Glorious, wait, Glorious, I'll keep you to that promise. I'll keep you to, if you make it to the cup, I'll claim, most of the time you get one of the 2 shirts. Or you get like 2 shirts. I want 1 shirt, I'm just kidding. Why are you kidding, man? I want your shirt. No, most of the time you get 2 shirts. Actually, for some I have like 3 or 4. But it really depends like on the year. But I will get the suit because I'm casting in the suit. So I just told them, because the casters from last year, they had the suit, but the suit didn't say SWC. I want a suit with SWC, otherwise it's not an SWC suit. The question is, did you intentionally not qualify then to be a caster? No, I was in the process of being a caster already, and therefore I knew I didn't have to qualify. And therefore I knew I didn't have to stress during my holidays to actually play. So could you say like, oh, he just didn't make it? In the 2 seasons ago, yes, 100% guaranteed, I just didn't make it. I tried, I didn't make it. But in the season after, I also didn't try because I didn't have to try. So I didn't have to stress about it, I just got a lazy G3. I just call it, sounds very casual, but in the end I've been getting G3 since 2018. So I've been G3 for a while, I guess. But yeah, and that one, I think I could have potentially made it. I'm not gonna say I would have made it. I think I could have potentially made it in the previous season. But in the end, like, I didn't have to, so that's that. Will I therefore be playing less RTA? Now, actually, the truth to be told, as you guys probably have noticed that I'm using the wrong team, where's my Leo? But truth to be told, am I going to play less RTA? Probably not. Probably I'm actually going to play more RTA. And the reason that I'm going to play more RTA is that, well, the simple reason is, it doesn't matter if I win or lose. And if it matters less if I win or lose, I tilt less. And it's a lot more enjoyable to watch, because there's a different thing between, like, that's really a thing, and I've really noticed it. Certain people, streamers mainly, that tilt are fun to watch. Like, you have people that are just funny to watch if they tilt. Very best example, YDCB. The guy was tilting his ass off and we were laughing our asses off. It was just hilarious how he tilts. If I tilt, I'm angry. I can give you another example. If Waikasama G tilts, he's angry. Like, we're different kind of tilters. We're just mad. We're just annoyed. We're just shouting at people. It's a different kind of tilt, and that's the different kind of tilt that is not enjoyable to watch. Like, I know that from myself. Like, can I change that? No, that's just me. It is what it is. Like, same for like, I remember Valley Bear back in the days. Like, Valley Bear tilting for her was not funny, but everyone else was having a decent time. Like, to be honest. you can name a bunch of people. Like, same for, well, Obabo kind of tilts, but he also kind of doesn't tilt. So that's kind of in between. And some people just don't tilt. Thompson is the Zen master. Like, I don't know, like, if you ever watch any stream of Thompson, he gets RNG'd his ass off, and he's just, oh wow, he played good. He's like, he didn't play good. He did not play good. You got freaking RNG. He's like, no, he played better. It's fine. I'm like, he's the Zen fucking master. It's impossible. it's impossible. Roxas never tilts. Roxas tilts a fair amount. Thompson only tilts from Long Island now. He gave his Long Island to me after 2 sips. That's different. Scribble never tilts. Scribble never tilts if he pulls another Leica. Same for me, man. Well, at some point, the thing is, the less you, like, intentionally care, the less you tilt. And now I'm, like, I will get my G3 finishes. So I can play a lot more relaxed, and I don't have to play to participate to the highest level. It also means a lot more for my YouTube and my streaming that I do. I can show more runes, I can show more whatever. I can literally go to my RTA box right now and show me your Gianna. And then you're like, your Gianna's unruned at the moment. Like, but I could show it. Like, that's the difference right now. I can show my runes because it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not gonna show RTA runes, but I can show all of the other stuff. I'm actually curious about the part. My Gianna was always 217. Like, it doesn't matter. It was not super fast. It was efficient, but it was not super fast. Gianna, the main thing with the Gianna was that you're outspeeding Morse on Despair. While they have a lead, you don't have a lead. And 217 was a good sweet spot for that. For most of the time. Currently, I would say it's slightly too slow, but people are getting faster and faster. But those kind of things. We never tried to qualify for SWC anymore. I would never say never. Justin Bieber 2013. Was it 2000? I don't know. But I would never say never, but I think I will enjoy my caster position. Because it just makes so much more sense as a content creator to be a caster rather than a completer. And I think I'm good at it. And that might be arrogant to say, but at certain things in life, if you're good at it, you're allowed to say you're good at it. So, I don't know. So for that reason, like, I want to give it a shot. Maybe I'm terrible at it. Like, who knows? Like, maybe if I sit there, I'm like, I freeze. Nora doesn't move because Alaya procs. Like, who knows? Like, maybe I'm gonna sit there like that. I don't know. But I definitely want to give it a try. And if it works out, I'll definitely give it a try for seeing that. If it works out, hey man, I want to cast World Finals. Like, by all means, if we can make it work, I'm casting together with Stoic. Like, that's also the funny thing. Like, they asked me for from Countess, like, who do you want to cast with? Because we didn't have like a second caster at the time. I named only one name, which was I want to cast with Stoic. Like, I think that the man is hyped. The man has like the best voice for casting. I don't know. The man is hyped. So who knows? Maybe that happens one day. I also mentioned to Stoic, so it doesn't come like on his head that he is like, hey, what the hell is Sei talking about? But yeah, if we can make that happen, I will be super hyped. I will be super stoked. I will be stoic. Okay, I won't make those stupid jokes during casting. I'll try to keep them to a minimum. But yeah, no, that's just cool stuff to come, and I'm very hyped about the tournament. So I'll definitely be in Paris. Will I be at the World Finals? Well, currently I can only say that I am casting for the European stuff. Anything to come after, I don't know. That's all I can say. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to Paris, even though I am not a player. And yeah, if you're asking about Baus is pretty much like in process of quitting the game, or he quit the game, or he's selling his account, or he sold his account. Either one of those things. But he's no longer like really attached to the game and that kind of stuff. And that's also often the thing that I kind of had with the casts, where I would say someone else that has more experience as G3, like, why was Make It About such a good caster, or is such a good caster? He knows the game in and out. He sees certain things that other people don't see because he plays that many RTA matches. He knows like the mechanics, he knows the players, he actually studies the players. Whereas a whole bunch of other casters, they just sat down and said what happened, what was in the match. But Summoner's War is so much more than what happens in the match. And that kind of stuff. So yeah, we had a whole bunch of casters. Like, I'm not gonna name shame or like call out specific ones or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's just what I had as a player. Like, for example, there was in the year 2019. I got like super Luxac, like crazy Luxac. Like, even my mom noticed I got Luxac, and she doesn't know the game. She always watches my matches though. My mom is so invested that she doesn't understand the game. I lose the tournament, she watches the whole tournament still. But whatever, I love you, Mom. But even my mom understands I got luck suck, and the caster's like that was totally not luck. I'm like, like, don't tilt me more, mate. You're tilting me more. So yeah, that kind of stuff. That's just good stories, good old stories about SWC. SWC for me, the thing is also now I don't have to stress to go to the tournament. Before I had to stress to go to Berlin, or I had to stress to go to Paris. Currently I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be my ass. I got the first ticket. I'm going there, alright? Like, I'm guaranteed the ticket. I'm telling you. So that part is just cool because all of these events definitely, like, I want to hype up the event already. The moment that you see that you can buy tickets for Paris, or that you don't even buy them, you buy them and they're for free. But try to get your tickets because these events are just amazing. Like, trust me, these events, and the Paris one is going to be sold out quick, like very quick, because French community is biggest community we have. Very good, like, for active community, everything. They're super hyped about those tournaments. So if you're not from France, or if you are from France as well and you want to travel to Paris, just make it a weekend or something, right? Like, just book, like, go there on the Thursday, leave on the Monday, something like that. Make it a long weekend. It's super nice. Isn't the France like a shithole at the moment? That part might be. I haven't been following the news, but actually friends of mine came from Paris 2 days ago, and it's like, it wasn't that great. Let's say probably by the time we have the cup, which is, I don't remember the date even exactly, but that's like a few months down the line. By that time it will probably be fine. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm very hyped for SWC. Always have been. Also for me, like, the most fun moments for me playing SWC was actually like a whole bunch of things actually. But one of the highlighted moments for me was, for example, last year. Last year we had like the waiting room for the players, where the players played, and then we had like an in-between waiting room for the players that had to play right after. So you had like a prep room for where you had to sit, that you have to walk on stage and that kind of stuff. And you had like a big cinema screen there, and I had to play Ismo first, and there was Timbo and Jancelot playing before us. And because of that, me and Ismo were sitting next to each other, looking at the match of Timbo and Ismo, or Timbo and Jancelot. And we were like analyzing the living shit out of that match. That was just super fun. Like, the thing is, I had to play Ismo like a few minutes later. There was like no rivalry whatsoever. There was actually the least stress moment for like that whole day. Was just me and Ismo sitting there, analyzing the match of the other players. Why? Because we're just invested in the game. We like the game. We see the plays. We like it when there's a good play. We're gonna mention it when there's a bad play. Like, that kind of stuff. That's just definitely there. Yeah, we're not cleaving here right now. Like, if you're asking if I'm cleaving this rush, no, I'm not cleaving this rush. This is my chill rush. So my chill rush just means I just talk a lot. Well, actually, I can kind of play on autopilot as well on like normal rushes, still talk a lot because I've been rushing that much. But the big difference on this rush is I don't have to reroom for this rush. Because the other rushes I have to reroom like 10, 15 units or so. Here I reroom nothing. So, no, actually I reroomed the Feng Yang and I reroomed my defense. What I think about Indras, I actually haven't had too much of a good look at them except for me looking. I played with the Dark One today. Dark One seems pretty interesting, but in a weird way where I'm not entirely sure if it's that good. But he has potential: siege offense, siege defense, arena defense, maybe an RTA. RTA is more of a maybe. The light one seems pretty busted, at least the kit seems pretty loaded on paper. I'm not sure how good he will be in an actual match. That's definitely a unit I do want to test out. But on paper, the light one seems pretty busted because it has the death break, it has the branding, it has a good amount of damage. If it's in Thunder states, he gets 100% crit rate, so you don't need to build any crit rate on it. Sounds like a Sean, but then different. Actually, to be honest, no, that sounds pretty much like a Sean. It stunts. Okay, it doesn't death break and it doesn't brand, but And there's no good snipe on this unit though, but yeah, it kind of sounds like a Sean in a certain way. Then we have the light one. No wait, the light one we all talked about. Water one seems like a siege offense unit where you want to use mono element water. He seems like a really good fit next to a Annabelle or next to an Alaya or that kind of stuff. Fire one I am not too sure about, and wind one I'm also not too sure about. I feel like they're kinda meh-ish. How do you think the RTA meta is going to change next season? I think it doesn't change too much since we didn't have a balance patch, and I don't think these new units are very meta depending. Except for the light one, but the light one is like rare, so you're not gonna see it too much. But I feel like the light one is probably one that you're going to see in RTA, like the most of it. The other two I'm not too sure if you're gonna see in RTA. But what about A to B change? What do you mean A to B? Oh, the A to B change for some of the units. Ah, yeah, true. I think all of the units that had an A to B nerf because of the change, they got buffed in a certain way that it's strong enough to overcome their change. For example, Antares got buffed. But also Sienna buff, Masha buff, all of those buffs are more buffs than nerfs intentionally. So I don't really see that as an issue for those units whatsoever. Even, okay, Helena's fucked. Belenus seems very good. Helena's fucked. That's true. Helena got the bad card on that draw, that's for sure. But besides that, they're all fine. But in the end, Helena was not used much in RTA as well. Like, I've seen it here and there against a Leo. I've seen it here and there on a very specific cleave. But that was never a meta RTA unit in the first place. Belenus might actually be used quite a bit more. Seal runes, no, I don't think seal... I think seal runes are going to make a difference in siege offense. But that's the issue, siege offense was already too easy, relatively. At least for the high-end guilds. So, yeah, Helena for siege offense is kind of gone, I think. I don't know. Yeah, you had the Helena siege offense with like Leo, Jean, that kind of stuff. I don't really think that's good anymore at all. So that part is kind of gone. Besides that, I don't think too much of a change. Yeah, seal runes. What does seal runes really make a change? I think you could potentially ruin the robo. Like a lot of people are talking about, like, I'm going to ruin my AoE stripper on seal runes. It's like, okay, that sounds very reasonable, that sounds very legit, and that is a legit idea. There's, however, one issue in mind. If you want to ruin seal runes on your unit that moves first, you gotta have a very fast seal. So unless you get a very fast intangible rune and you go for a slot 2 seal rune, like, to be honest, yeah, sure. Robos, Athnas, even an AO, like a Triton, all of those units really fit seal runes, for sure, 100%. Tomoe, those kind of units definitely fit seal runes, 100%. But in the end, yeah, seal runes for Nyx, yeah, that would be very nice. But it's going to take a long time for those seal runes to actually kick in for people to have that many, to actually make it work to a decent extent. Plus the fact that even then, it's just a 15% rate, which is not that much. So yeah, seal seems nice, but I think it will take a good amount of time. And then there's one more very important factor. Who wants to farm seal? Like, sure, to be honest, you could say that farming the Abyss dungeons are not that worthy, but farming Artifact is very worthy. Farming the Seal dungeon? Not sure. And you also gotta farm the grinds and the gems. Very true, very true. Well, grinds you're gonna get relatively easy because it's just R5. But Seal, to be honest, I'm not even sure which of the dungeons do you have to farm for Seal. Probably that's one dungeon that has the gems next to it that are fucking sucky and no one really wants. So, all of them? No, wait, the Seal one was a specific gem one, right? I think Intangible is from all of them, but lower chance. And Seal was a specific one, but I don't remember exactly. It's for sure not together with Vile, for example. So yeah, that's also an interesting question. I got Seal from Wind. I think Wind is the only one. But yeah, then again, are you really going to farm that much? I don't know. Intangible runes will be as rare as LD5s. Yeah, kind of. But you also don't need that many intangible runes. Like in the end, you can only use one intangible rune per unit. So I saw one good intangible rune already from Neo. Neo had a slot 2 with 14 HP and 21 crit rate. And then flat HP and then I think resistance next to it or something. What about fight runes in PvE? All units fight runes. Well, fight runes, that's also a very interesting fact. Like people would say like, yeah, okay, but we're not only farming for seal runes, we're also farming for fight runes. Because fight runes are very good. Yes, but actually fight runes had a nerf with Abyssal Heart. And that might sound pretty weird, but Abyssal Heart, all of these dungeons have relatively way lower defense and way higher HP compared to the B12 corresponding same dungeon, which means that crit damage plus damage proportional to enemy max HP has so much more higher value, where to attack gets a lower value. My Lin in my dungeon team in Giants is rocking a slot 2 defense. Not because I necessarily need the defense that much, but because it gives more crit damage. So those are the things. And we got a primer from Shark there. Appreciate it. So yeah, in a sense, if crit damage adds more value, fight and attack gets lower value. So that is definitely a thing to keep in mind as well, where 5 wounds slightly lower in value because of that. How much CD is your Lin? 280 right now. My Akamir is 282. No wait, my Lin is 279. And my Akamir is 282 or 283. But yeah, those new dungeons, I will have a video on it tomorrow, whether I feel like they're worth for farming. Like, there's a bunch of factors to it why it would be worth or it would not be worth. But in the end, I think for most people, not worth. And that's the sad part about it. Oh wait, I also have to... I made a list of what videos I have to do the rest of the week. But I didn't keep in mind this video. Wait, okay, that's the video for the Wednesday. Arena Rush. Probably just do 2 videos on the Wednesday because the other one is shorter. Lin 2A would be insane. Lin 2A would be very much insane. That would... yeah, that would be crazy. Not sure if the other Amazons are that good. I knew Ellen is, or Elin, or whatever you want to call it. The water one, that one is pretty decent too. That one has quite some potential. Drop all videos tomorrow. That's not how YouTube works. That's YouTube. YouTube says we don't do that over here. Well, yeah, you could do it, but it's not great. I predict underwater theme, Charger Shark, Serpent 2As. Well, they already said in August we're gonna get the Frankensteins and the Living Armor 2As. So we're gonna get Copper Bulldozer 2As. And also Tractor 2A. Tractor 2A might be nasty. But I do think that the base stat increase that they will get for the units that already were used will be very big. Frankenstein Lights 2A will be nice. I think so too, because that's Driller, I think? Or the dark one is Driller. No, I think dark one is Crawler and that one is Driller. They're such big names. But yeah, that one has potential of hitting 8 times. That's insane. Tractor 2A might break Siege even more. Yeah, probably, because every fire unit on defense right now is pretty much screwed by a Windy. if they're going to say every wind unit on defense right now is going to be screwed by Tractor, to be honest, I feel like if they make Tractor 2A, they get slightly better base stats and they improve the taunt to 2 turns or something. I think that's the only thing they do. 2-turn taunt and slightly better base stats and different looks. That's it. Done. That's the easiest, not breaking the unit. Like, to be honest, the S2 should not even be there in offense. Like, you don't need it. Like, if you press it on auto, you feel annoyed if it actually taunts. It does nothing. But for Copper, especially for Copper, it's actually the most interesting one. Is that Copper scales from both attack and defense. So even if they don't really increase his defense that much, his attack is increased and Copper scales from... Copper actually, funny enough, scales 300% attack, 300% defense. Plus, Copper's threshold to hit ignore defense is easier met even if they just add like 5 extra base stats, which are going to do one of them. And probably Copper, they're just going to not change skill 3, just change skill 2 or something. So yeah, and then for Bulldozer, Bulldozer also could use it. Weird thing about Bulldozer is Bulldozer has 0 scaling skills on attack. It's one of the very few units that has 0 attack scaling. Would it be the only unit that has 0 attack scaling? I think it might be actually. Because this S2 is fully from HP if I'm not mistaken. S3 is fully from defense, S1 is fully from defense. I'm not 100% sure. Wait, let me double check. Bulldozer. Frankenstein. Yeah. Well, actually S2 is from HP and defense. But it's defense S1, HP and defense S2, and then defense skill 3. And he scaled all 3 skills on defense and he's an HP type. Doesn't make any sense. But we have a few more units that don't make much sense. He can fit in line on that one. Higher base sets will make them insane. But to be honest, I checked for Kali, for example, because Kali was also one of those units like, yo, if you're gonna make Kali on higher base stats, Kali's going to be crazy. But the Kali base stat increase was very minimum. And I expect them to give a very minimum base stat increase for these units as well. So I think they're going to, like, the units that I think get the most potential out of this would probably be Zinc. Zinc is the Dark Living Armor. I think that he would be potentially very good for SF10. If he gets something that makes his skill 3 perfectly out, because it's a multi-hitter buff blocker. If he gets anything towards saying like, okay, if your defense is above X or your HP is like full, you get like 1 extra hit. He becomes perfect AI, would be the best unit for SF10 right away, instantly, 100%. So I think they will do something along the lines of that. I hope, I pray. I have been wrong with that hoping and praying before with the cookies having S1 buff blockers, and those were the worst of the worst. But yeah, I do have some hopes on that. But yeah, we shall see how that goes. But yeah, I feel like for me the most hype that I would be about the 2As for Frankensteins and Living Armors, I would say Zinc. Is AI already prioritized? S3 is not 100% though, I need 100%. But I would say Zinc and probably Driller, which is the light Frankenstein. I think those two have a lot of potential. To be honest, I'm not even sure what the Wind Tractor does. I don't know his name, probably Crane. I think it's Crane. But I don't even know what he does. But the same thing the other way around. What does Silver do? And Silver is the light Living Armor. I don't know. But yeah, Drillers additionals with potentially hitting 8 times on a skill, like with just some requirements hitting 8 times. It's huge. Your time is 2 seconds slower, is it? Or the stream is delayed by 2 seconds. Grain pass, if your defense is increased by 25% for every beneficial effect you have and your speed is increased by 25 for every harmful effect you suffer. I don't know how I would buff that and would make that use. Both based on buffs? Or both based on both? That could be a thing. That will be the dream if there's only 2-second delay. I actually heard from people that I have very little delay on my stream. Okay, you can actually test that. Write something in chat and see when it pops up on my screen, because you see your own chat messages. Write something and then count how many, or like how many seconds it takes for you to see it on screen. That's the delay I have. And then tell me how much that is. I think it's a few seconds, it's really minimum. As far as I know. 2-3 seconds. Yeah, that's insane, right? That's pretty nice. So yeah, then that's also, of course, making sense for the delay on the timer. With that break I do near to no damage. But yeah, chill rushing is always nice. Makes me not have to reroom that much. Plus, in the end, I actually, at the very start, I did rushes for effectively getting more crystals than spending crystals. So if I got one rank higher by spending 30 crystals for an extra refresh, then that was always worth. Because I got like one rank higher was either 50 more crystals or 100 more crystals or something like that. So for that reason, it's also technically not worth it to start very low, refresh an insane amount of crystals, and then get rank where you get like 500 crystals back, but I spent 600 crystals on the rush. And we got Ellie with the primer for 3 months. Appreciate it. In your opinion, do you think it's better to run seal runes on your stripper or the follow-up such as Nephthys? Well, Nephthys for sure. Nephthys doesn't technically really care about being bio, doesn't really care about being swift. So Nephthys is one of the best targets for seal. But I would say your AoE strippers for, well, all of the people that don't have Nephthys, which are way more than the people that do have. What's the best dungeon for people to farm late game? It kind of depends, like what is late game. Like what is late game depending on how fast can you farm Abyss. If you can farm Abyss in 45 seconds, then I would say Abyss. But to be honest, actually what Wrangler is saying right now is true. Artifacts. Like if you don't have crazy good artifacts already, currently is a very good time to farm artifacts. Nyx, Vancliff, Nephthys with seal sets. That sounds pretty strong, yeah. That actually does sound pretty strong. But if it would actually work very good, I'm not sure. Wait, was someone having Celia on defense? Wait, I want to find the Celia defense and laugh at it how it's buggy right now. Did you guys see the bug yet? I'm surprised that got not, or that didn't get hotfixed or anything. Because Celia is not worth anything right now. And the issue is, normally if you had 2 turns sleep, you had a dot, you would take the turn, and because of the dot you took damage, you would still not take your turn, but your second turn sleep would be removed. Currently it is, you instantly get the turn because you get woken up because of the damage. They put a note on it already working on the fix, that shouldn't be hard to fix. That's just the order of command, like the chain of command in which certain things come in when coding. That's nothing special. Is that the countdown to rush? No, that's the countdown of the rush. So the rush finishes in that time. The only difference is normally I don't show the hours, just show the minutes. But since I used it for something else, I think countdown till the patch or something like that, I kept it like this and then... just fought like 5 Celias with Tiana, yeah exactly, it's just... as long as you have multiple will runes and shield runes, it's just fine. Average for spirit reels 40 seconds, but rune drop rate is crazy low for Celia. Yeah, it's not super high. Did you already save Did you save the penguins already? I saved every penguin. Penguins are actually fucking dope animals, not gonna lie. They just look clumsy as fuck. Like, have you ever seen like those penguins walking or something? They're fucking cool. And then one flips over and all the others are looking at them. And then they can walk. The penguins are pretty cool. I didn't even know they were endangered though. I've seen penguins, well of course in like random zoos, but I saw a lot of penguins in South Africa. And it's like close to Cape Point. You have a lot of penguins over there. They're pretty dope. Those were these small penguins. When will dungeon always drop runes? Ooh, that would be very nice. When do dungeons no longer drop blue shit? Ooh, that would be so nice. I actually was hoping that Abyss would be that hard that it would be worth it to not have blue runes in there at all. Like, to be honest, I was hoping that Abyss would be so hard as a dungeon that there's no way to speed clear it. Everyone had like 4 or 5 minute runs. And with those 4 or 5 minute runs, that means that it's like, okay, it's worth it to only give no blue runes. And only heroes and only legendaries. Yeah, that's... What do you think of the legend crafting rune right now? I think it is fine. I think they just have to revamp, like, or change the crafting that we have for the shitty runes that give blue runes and then 5-star runes that are blue. But the crafting legendary, I think it's fine. It's just a nice addition that if you sold like a whole bunch of legendaries, you get another chance to get a legendary. It's pretty much for every 10 legendaries you sell, you get another free legendary. Is that bad? No, that's not bad. It's decent. Yeah, for most of the themes that I've seen people use on that new dungeon, it's just bird, bunch of rogues, and then a Seek or a Kali or anything like that. I think the most stable from what I've seen, which is easy to build for most people, is a Vert, double Rogue, a Star, and a Seek. Yeah, it's pretty much a pity system. Yeah, exactly. So every 10 you just get 1 extra. And then you feed in that one, so... because that one was also shit. Well, the thing is you don't get that many legendary rules. That's the main issue. What was your team again with Julie? Which team with Julie? Which dungeon? The PC one? Or you mean for the new dungeon? I used the Clara team, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would just go for either a Star or Pollution. Artifact farming. That team is for PC, I guess, which is the team of Julie, Double Ikaru, Pro, and Pyromonkus. You could use Trikaru Crow, but the Homunculus one is better, I think. Or I'm pretty sure so. You bring a lot more dots.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
Why am I even like not just hitting everything, because all of these are pretty much the same. Just thinking what is hitting fast and looking at stuff. What's the best team on SF? There is no best. No, I don't know. Like, legitimately, I don't know. It's still something related to the top team, because SF10 is such a shit dungeon. Because anything related to trying to buff block the boss just doesn't actively work good enough with good enough AI. That's just the whole problem with Hell Dungeon. Wait, did they one-tap them? They one-tap them on the counter. Oh, those double fang young men. They freaking one-tap the The kinky. Oh, that's the best part of all the whole rush, man. These things do so freaking much damage. I brought 4 buff block and still lost. Yeah, that dungeon. The thing is, there's not a single buff blocker that has good enough AI to use all the time, and then good enough multi-hits to overcome the 50% resistance check that's there. So, yeah, if you have those 2 values that you can overcome, which Sync potentially can, then it's very nice. Yeah, definitely, like, you just go Lucian plus double Melia and Seth Tatu, or you go Lucian, Ling Ling, Lauren, maybe, I would say 2 Ling Lings even. Rush is actually somewhat more active than I expected it to be. I kinda expect mostly the rush right after the inter-server rush is the most chill rush that people just don't do it. But I've been getting hits well, a bit. Yeah, new SF team I will craft after the new 2As. Like, I'm not planning to craft any team for SF that is better, even though it's useful to farm SF right now. I'm just gonna be honest, it's just dull teaming. So yeah, that's just going to be wait until after that. And after that, we're definitely going, like, if the Sync has like good potential for it, we're definitely going to be crafting a new dungeon team for SF. I think SF is probably the most, how to say it? The dungeon I have most videos on that are not rewarding. Let's call it that way. It's okay, it's reward, I guess. Hellfest. Oh, it's Hellfest the reward? Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Can you show me your defense in Arena? It is a Vanessa, Triton, Carno, and Camilla? Yeah. I still think they need to change the cost for artifact convert costs. Yeah. For me, it's doable because I have way too much mana saved up and I could easily lose a few bill. But I can totally understand for the other people that it's not great. Would 4 Hellfest be a good AD? No. 4 Camilla, however, is. But 4 Hellfest is counted by exactly the same thing. And the multitude of having more of them doesn't add... It adds somewhat more RNG to it. But it doesn't necessarily make them good enough for that RNG. But that's the main issue. Does this work? Who can I use instead of Camilla? Camilla is just a unique unit in defense. It's not really easy to replace at the moment. Don't do me like that. Okay. We stop getting armor broken and shit. Ah, you die. Go kill that one first. Uh-oh. I have that one again. They should reduce the amount of packs that are buyable. It's only getting more. That is definitely a value that's not gonna get reduced. That's definitely a value that's going to increase. Yeah. Is what it is. That's all I can say about that part. But yeah, there's a lot more to buy these days. Yeah, that's definitely true. But then again, there's also a lot to buy that's not really worth buying at all. Like, sure, they add more good value packs, but they also add more packs that you're like, okay, I'm definitely not buying this. To be honest, the packs that they had for the update right now, except for the Transcendence pack, I felt like the packs were not crazy value. If you compare that to the packs that we had for the anniversary packs were way better. Oh, there we have the new unit. Well, it's next to a Geldnir, so that will take ages. Ooh, here we have the unit. That is absolutely crap right now. Wait, I want to see the bug. I'm overall keeping a lot of artifacts I wouldn't roll due to triple rolls. Exactly. Artifact farming is super chill right now because you see the rolls. Yeah, look at this. So, if there's a dot in it, okay, he wakes up anyways. Oh, it's stunned, so it's not really working. But yeah, it's just stupid right now how it works. But artifact farming is super chill. Like the plus 15 is super chill. I wish they would do that for everything. But if they do that for runes, it will be very OP. Because then you don't have to spend any mana for runes. And mana becomes useless pretty much. Sometimes when I do chill rush, I still get G3. Today is not going to be one of those days. But even far, probably just get like G1 or so. Mana is already useless. I have like 500 mil. Well, there's actually, I'm surprised about it, but there's a lot more people struggling with mana, especially people that don't farm all too much, but do siege very actively. Those people actually still struggle with mana. I'm somewhat surprised about that, but there's actually more people in my guild that struggle with mana than I thought. Are you done with Chronicles? Nope, still playing Chronicles. I'm also going to do Chronicles. Actually, Chronicles Siege is starting tomorrow. Probably do a video on that. I haven't been doing too many videos on Chronicles, but also I have not been streaming Chronicles that much, but mainly because of this update, I guess. JMac has 5 bill, yeah, I have 4 bill. I would have had like 6 bill if I didn't waste like 2.5 bill on Artifact update when it just came out. I legitimately wasted like 2.5 to 3 bill when artifacts were way more expensive to upgrade. Did you pull any of the Dragonites? I got a Lycan. But I think Lycan needs a buff in Chronicles before he's usable. But I've seen that they probably will be buffed. The issue with making content for Chronicles is that the Korea server is ahead of us. And therefore it's hard to make content on anything that comes out new in the game because it's already known from Korea. So for that part it's... Yeah, and then I could say like, okay, I'm just checking whatever Korea gets all the time, but I cannot actively show like, hey, Korea is getting this content. So therefore making content for that game is somewhat harder because Storyteller is doing a good job at just providing that information most of the time already. For Chronicles, I don't really have the feeling of progressing with runes. True, I kind of have that too. Like I did 1200 tickets for Path of Growth. And the thing where you feel like progressing with runes is getting better, or getting the galaxy stones and getting all of that kind of good stuff. But it's not necessarily getting the runes. I have that feeling as well. Not sure if I will be able to clear this in just 2 minutes. Technically it doesn't have too much of heals. But it is a pretty tanky team nevertheless. No, I'm not able to clear this in 2 minutes. So it's just a lazy G1. Oh, Value in Chronicles is scuffed. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place with certain currencies and stuff. Oh wow, it's actually dying a lot faster than expected. But yeah, we're gonna have Siege in Chronicles, and I really, I'm actually not looking too forward to Siege in Chronicles, because Siege is, I just know for the Siege, looking at the Siege map and everything like that, is just very time consuming. And that part, I'm not really looking forward to, because I'm also guild lead. So I cannot just say like, well, I probably am going to say like, guys, just hit whenever, whatever. But yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that part in all honesty. So we shall see how that goes. See if I manual it, if it goes any faster. Or not if that unit comes back. It starts going for counters. Walk 16 times. Not you. Okay, he's going to walk 16 times. Whatever. We're out of time in this. But yeah, after this I will go into Chronicles as well. Lead sieging in Sky Arena and going chronicles. Let's go. I'm now a siege lead in Sky Arena by all means. I don't want it on purpose. Like that's why I don't want to really lead siege in chronicles as well. Because I know how time consuming it is. Like props to all siege leads that take so much time for all of this shit. It takes so much time. Oh wait, we actually have the time to clear. We have 22 seconds, I think. We're gonna need that armor break and a procker, Mr. Peng Yang. Armor break, procker. Armor break, procker. Fuck you. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Easy. Lazy G2. Lazy G2. Actually, I got hit a lot around that time, and then not anymore. Well, not bad for a G2 on starting pretty late. Wait, this is the new fastest. I can say, my thumbnail can say sub 35-second average. Psych.